What is up, my ace boon coon? Sorry for the delay. Today is February 23rd, 2026, and something's coming. I can almost guarantee it. Something to distract you from your purpose, something to distract you from what really matters in politics these days. Nothing matters more than the demonic, what's going on in this demonic exposure of pedophiles, child traffickers, etc. Expect a false flag, expect some sort of war, rumors of war. It's happening. I won't hold you. Let's go. Let's get straight into it.
Rather than deport all of the illegals, what they should do is they should offer them a deal where if they hunt down 5 child predators, then they can get their papers, right? And then we call the program Alien versus Predator. Rather than deport all of the illegals.
As you probably heard, the latest Epstein files are absolutely disgusting. World leaders are exposed. Former presidents are exposed. Everyone who you would consider an elite has been exposed in these files. And when you even look at the specific documents and read what it entails, it's disgusting. Matter of fact, it's past disgusting, it's straight up demonic. All of it is centered behind little children being taken advantage of, abused, and even worse. I don't even want to get into the details that are in these files. And this woman, a 21-year-old model, Gabriela Jimenez, was caught on the news screaming after she attended one of these elite parties. And now it's 2026, the Epstein files are released, and they entail some gruesome documents. And what's crazy is after this video happened in 2009, she disappeared. We don't know where this woman is. I wonder why is that? And what's crazy is even though these files are released, nothing's gonna happen. These people won't get locked up. Why? Because they're the rulers of this world. And the Bible has talked about this in Ephesians 6:12, where it says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." That describes this world to a T. The rulers of this world, the elites, they're demonic. And it's just crazy to me that we're living in a world like this. And the problem is people get too distracted too easily. The media is going to push left and right issues, black and white issues, all to distract you. And I want you to watch this video. It describes America right now.
And our leaders are low-life scum that screw little girls so the Jews can screw America. That's what's happening in this country. I just said it. That's what's going on in this country. And our FBI is corrupt. The Supreme Court is corrupt. The Justice Department is corrupt. The news media is corrupt. The whole country is corrupt because we've walked away from Almighty God and we've allowed Kabbalah-practicing Jews to defile the nation. Put that video out. Go ahead and clip this video and send it out. I dare you. You won't do it because you're scared that the truth may get out to the American people. I'm had it up to here with the corruption in this country. Little children being ruled for the benefit of Israel. That's all it's about, Doc. Little American children being for the benefit of Israel. American politicians bring little American girls to be videotaped by Israeli Mossad so that Israel can blackmail American politicians. That's the state of America today. God ought to destroy this country for what we've become.
I know that's right.
I saw it myself. I couldn't believe it. And just, just little babies, just all torn pieces. Their heads chopped off, arms, legs, just...
Hundreds of human fetuses, some possibly in the 6th month of development, were found stacked in a large shipping container picked up behind the home of a medical laboratory owner. Detective Roland Drouin said the fetuses, from the size of an egg up to as much as 4 pounds, were preserved in white plastic containers, packed in cardboard boxes and stored in the large container. The fetuses were discovered Thursday night after the owner of the 20-foot by 8-foot storage container repossessed it from Mel Weisberg because he failed to make a $1,700 payment. The company picked it up and brought it back. They noticed it was quite heavy. While unloading, a box had dropped and a fetus was discovered.
One of them fell down and hit me right in front of my feet. And it was opened up, and there it was. It was a mutilated body
Nick Martin, who opened the storage container, also said there was a putrid smell. They say they're just fetuses, he added, but they sure look like humans to me. The laboratory owner Mel Weisberg signs his name Dr. Weisberg, but the police were unable to confirm that he was a legal physician.
1982, y'all. Do you see how long this has been going on? And that's still fresh. That's still brand new. This has been going on since the Bible age. Canaanites. The Bible talks all about this. I mean, it's wild. Why do we not take this serious? Why aren't we taking this serious? What can we do? All right, here's a big one that I think a lot of us missed. But yet you still hear the US involved in the World Health Organization. We still give them we still give them airtime on our mainstream media. Why? Why is this? And I'm going to correlate another video involved with the World Health Organization and stuff. And this is just for entertainment purposes only. So keep that in mind.
Withdrawing from the World Health Organization.
Ooh, that's a big one.
That's a big one.
Assess the World Health Organization's role in severely mismanaging and covering up the spread of the coronavirus.
Multiple papers showing some people who get COVID actually turn HIV positive. It wasn't that common, but that segment of the spike protein must have been exposed to the immune system. Then the Australians broke this open and they did a randomized trial of a COVID vaccine exposing that part of the spike protein to subjects in Australia. They all turned HIV positive. All of them. So you can type it in. Australian vaccine trial turns every subject HIV positive. There it is. So there was something about the spike protein that was very unnatural. Like, why is it identical to a segment of HIV? Then all the information comes out of Wuhan, China.
Yeah.
And the House subcommittee investigations on this. The spike protein was engineered. It's not a natural protein. It's engineered. Dr. Ralph Barrick at University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, Anthony Fauci, Peter Daszak at the EcoHealth Alliance, Xingling Li in Wuhan, they collaborated and they made an indestructible spike protein.
Dr. Fauci, correct me if I'm wrong, in the 1980s, he was very involved with research around HIV.
Yeah.
I would love to collaborate with the parasite cleansing company. If you or anyone out there knows of a parasite cleansing company, comment below. Here's why.
This message goes out to every single solitary doctor and nurse within the medical industry that has ever lied to people and never once told them the truth about what was ailing them when it came to tumors and cancers. You have lied for far too long. You knew it was parasites causing the cancer and the tumors. You knew that all they had to simply do was a parasite detox cleanse and using coconut oil and extra virgin olive oil as a binder, because the die-off symptoms are harder to deal with versus using the binders. You've always known that there was an easier way. You lied to people and you fried them to death using chemotherapy treatments. My grandfather and my dad died that way, both grandfathers. I think my second grandfather, which is my dad's dad, actually died faster because of the chemo, because he also had Lyme's disease and mesothelioma. Stop lying, you're going to fry anyway.
What does that mean?
To take something in.
Okay, excellent. To absorb. Anyone?
Everywhere, all the time.
So what is ubiquitous assimilation? False. Examples of this in everyday life. Oh, I need to be pretty to be happy. I need surgery to be pretty. I need to be thin famous fashion.
Israel is a democracy and is our ally.
Yes,
right?
they are.
Explain to me what you see as, why you target or why you have a grudge against the Israelis.
The grudge is not necessarily a grudge. It's an objective assessment that no one will have the courage to speak about. This may be you don't want to hear. I don't know. And I certainly don't want to hurt you on your show. You have one of the best. You're fair. But I believe that Israel has a powerful stranglehold on the American government. They control both members of the House and the Senate. They have us involved in wars of which we have little or no interest. Our children are coming back in body bags. Our nation is bankrupt over these wars. And if you open your mouth, you get targeted. And if they don't beat you at the poll, they'll put you in prison. They're controlling much of our foreign policy. They're influencing much of our domestic policy. Wolfowitz, as Undersecretary of Defense, manipulated President Bush #2 back into Iraq. They pushed definitely to try and get Bush before he left to move into Iran. We're conducting an expansionist policy of Israel, and everybody's afraid to say it. They control much of the media, they control much of the commerce of the country, and they control powerfully both bodies of the Congress. They own the Congress.
Are you an anti-Semite?
No, I'm not. That's exactly what they're going to say. We have a one-sided foreign policy in the Mideast, and we've alienated Arabs who have no way of fighting. So what they've done, and I predicted this on the House floor, is they would export violence to America, and they have. They have no other way to fight. I'm saying this to you right now. Israel gets approximately $15 billion a year from the American taxpayers. That $15 billion is $30,000 for every man, woman, and child. And people in my district are losing their pension benefits.
Okay, so this, I think I'm a pretty logical person, and you and I have always asked the question, how can a country the size of New Jersey hold so much power? And to my conclusion is, it's always spiritual. God gave Satan reign to this world. He got kicked out of heaven and he came down to this earth, and he is the ruler of this earth, as scripture says. There's a synagogue of Satan in scripture. So I believe this current day, this current power of Israel is the synagogue of Satan. Satan is running this world, and every single government that bows down to Israel is bowing down to Satan himself. That synagogue of Satan. I don't know. It's a theory, but it just makes sense, man.
So America first or Israel first? Or Palestine first? Don't be scared, bro. You're not doing this. Sir, you look like a raggedy, unshaved coochie. Just kidding, sir. That is not right, sir. So America first or Israel first? So America first or Israel first? That's an easy one.
I'm a staffer.
You're a staffer? You're a chicken, boy. You're a chicken staffer. Sir, did your father get you this job?
No. Absolutely
You
not.
earned it through hard work?
I did.
Can we get America first or Israel first? No answer? Now he got scared. The first ones he got, sir. America first or Israel first?
Yeah, I'm not going to talk to you about that.
You're not going to talk to me about that? Sir, you look terrified. He just got a chill down. He skipped on the elevators. He said, I'm going to take the steps today. Sir, may we ask you, America first or Israel first? Sir, don't be scared, sir. There's nothing to worry about, sir. He skipped out on his real floor. Sir, this is not even your floor, bro. Dear brothers, America first or Israel first? You're live with 1,000 people on TikTok. You're scared, sir? You look like an American. You look like you let it rip behind the scenes. Come on, sir. You look like you have the power. Don't give us that bashful white man face. America first or Israel first, sir? You're scared to answer it, sir? Your face turning red, sir? Excuse me, Glenn? Excuse me, we'd like to have a word with Glenn and about him being sold out to Israel. How did that happen, sir? Shame on Glenn. Shame on you, sir. You are going straight to hell, sir. Damn you.
That was not hard to answer, right? You would think. Someone's holding an allegiance. All right, this next one, I was a little perplexed as to is this AI or did Mel Gibson really say this? Y'all can answer that in the comments. But I know Mel Gibson's very outspoken about these current events that are going on, from the children being eaten to pedophilia, from the synagogue of Satan in Hollywood, Jews. Y'all just listen and be the judge. Not telling you what to believe. Always, never.
Time's running out. This is the real plan that's been running since the 1850s, and it's barreling toward World War III. Back then they targeted two prizes, Palestine and Argentina. Palestine for control of the Middle East, Argentina, especially Patagonia, for a final refuge when the world burns. They took Palestine. Done. Now comes the Isaac Accords, Argentina's quiet surrender, turning it into an Israeli colony in all but name. Right now they're burning Argentina down, wildfires everywhere, and buying the scorched land cheap. The tool, their fake NGO, that's Backpackers Without Borders, so-called backpackers, like with maps and cameras, supposedly mapping trails. In reality, they're intelligence operatives marking targets, befriending locals while they plan which part of the Patagonia to burn next. Why? Because the deal is sealed. Milei told Netanyahu, "Mi casa es su casa." If Nuremberg-style trials ever come for Israel, they've got their escape hatch here, just like the Nazis had in the 1940s. And the endgame? Nuclear World War III. Fallout winds blow east-west across the northern hemisphere, Europe, America, Asia. Devastated. Patagonia sits at the bottom of the planet, next to Antarctica. You do the math. They've got more in common with the Nazis than anyone wants to believe. The perfect arc for the new empire, while the North chokes on ash. So, this is it.
Basically blowing up and getting deplatformed. So when I put out that video, they demonetized. Let me tell you a story about how Andrew Tate is directly responsible for me becoming one of the top 5 leading experts on government-funded child trafficking in America. And it all started back in 2021 when I put out a video of Andrew Tate saying that Bitcoin is a better investment than a house. This is at the time that he was basically blowing up and getting deplatformed. So when I put out that video, they demonetized my YouTube channel. Same day I was at LFA TV, they offered me a job. First week on LFA TV, whistleblower comes forward and tells me our government's running the world's largest child trafficking network. When I went down to Texas, I was the first person to drone the child migrant concentration camps. So when everybody and all the news was talking about all those missing children, I played a major role in pretty much every one of those stories going mega viral. We have 3 full-length documentaries on how our government, HHS, DHS, in combination in their public-private partnership with the Mexican cartels and these NGOs, turned America into the child trafficking capital of the world. 452,121 migrant children ages 0 to 17 arrived at our border without parents. Our government took physical possession of 350,000 of them, vetted the adult they delivered them to, and then delivered 350,000 children into the network of pedophiles here in America. America is the number 1 consumer of child porn, number 1 consumer of child rape, number 1 consumer of child ritual sacrifice, and the number 1 consumer of all hard narcotics. America is the last country you'd want your child lost in, and our government lost 350,000 of these children. So when I tell you I've traveled the world, I've been to 22 different countries in the last year and a half investigating child trafficking. When I got to Malaysia, it took me an hour. Actually, it took me 15 minutes. Okay, so I'm out having drinks. And we're in a, it almost reminds me of like Mardi Gras, right? Where you have like this giant busy strip, like 4 blocks, bars, clubs, and restaurants, massage parlors, nail salons, hair salons, bar, club, on both sides of the street. I'm at a restaurant here. Now, the closest place I can get my Uber is all the way at this corner, right? Because you have to get, this is just a one-way, cars can go one way, but you can't stop there and get Ubers because it's so busy. So you have to come all the way out to like this Uber pickup area. So I'm over here, Ken and his girlfriend get in the fight. I'm like, it's uncomfortable, I just wanted to leave. So I'm like, I'm just gonna get an Uber back to my car. So as I'm walking, I'm getting hit on by black girl after black girl after black girl after black girl, black girl. You don't speak English, right? By the time I get here, this is like, they're all there because they know all of the guys are leaving the bars going to get an Uber. So there was like 6 girls. One of the girls that approached me spoke a little broken English. So I instantly sparked up a conversation with her. Oh, where are you from? Blah, 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 blah. What do you do? Oh, yeah, you know. And she asked me what I do. I said, I'm an investigative journalist, documentary filmmaker. I pulled out my phone. I say, I'm one of the world leading experts in America in child trafficking, specifically government funded child trafficking. I said, can I ask you a question? And she's like, yeah, sure. I said, did you pay somebody to bring you here? Do you owe somebody money for bringing you here? And she like looked around and like she realized that she could trust me when she see my social media, and my profile at the time probably had a couple 100,000 followers. She looks around and she grabs me and she pulls me off like into the shadows, right? So we're like into the shadows of the buildings that are right there in this corner, right? So we're over in the shadows and she's like, I'll tell you how it all works. She goes, listen. So we have a madam, and a madam comes to our village, and our village is basically in the middle of nowhere in Tanzania. She goes, we have no opportunity for work. So like the girls either go to the farmer's market and work for like 50 cents a day, or we can go to the cobalt mines and actually go deep into the Congo of Africa, and we can make $1 a day, a couple bucks a day. She goes, when the madam shows up, they have packages, a 1-month visa, a 3-month visa, and a 1-year visa. 1 month is 5,000, 8,000, and 10,000. Those are the 3 package types. Now that package type includes, so think about, these girls are in villages out in the middle of Mumbai. So when I went to Tanzania to invest these networks, so I went from Malaysia, I went to Thailand, I went to Australia. Then when I was in Australia, I interviewed Andrew McLeod, and he's like, if you want to see the worst of humanity and child trafficking, you have to go to Madagascar. When I was in Thailand, I met my friend's buddy had a friend who came to Thailand to try to get one of her sisters. Her sister came over from Tanzania. So she came over on behalf of the family trying to get her sister to come back. Her sister didn't use the madam package. So I got to talk to her, and she went out in the streets of Thailand and got more of these girls and brought them back to my hotel room for me to interview them. And then she invited me and said, hey, you can come to Tanzania. I can show you where these girls are getting recruited for. So then I flew all the way out to Tanzania, 26-hour car ride across the entire country of Tanzania, road trip, to get out to out into the sticks. 93 years, Annette's grandfather had never seen a black man or a white man. I was the first white man all the way out in this part of Tanzania in at least 93 years, probably in forever. So the madam shows up there. She's dressed nice. She's got makeup on. She's got a car. She's got a laptop. She's got a cell phone. She tells these girls they could make $25 an hour. $25 an hour being somebody's girlfriend. You're just their girlfriend for the hour. You take good care of them. You show them a good time, and then you go about your way. So what these girls do, the madam does, and they're out in this village, like I said, in the middle of nowhere. They don't have a DMV. They don't have a Secretary of State. They don't have a place that gets you an ID. You have to go to an agency, or you have to go all the way from Mumbai, all the way to Dar es Salaam, to the capital, fill out your paperwork, stay there for 2 or 3 days while you get all of your paperwork and documentation, then come all the way back to the village. So what the madam does is she offers them packages. Again, 1 month, 3 month, and 1 year visas. So what happens is she takes them from their home in Mumbai. It goes all the way to the capital. And they stay in the capital while they get all of their documents, because they need IDs, they need birth certificates, they need all the documentation that you need to apply for the passport. Then they apply for the passport. Once the passport gets approved, then passport gets delivered, they pick up the passport, then they can book their flights. So the madam does all of the work, she gets their flights, and then when the flights are good, she'll have 3 or 4 or 5 girls with her, she'll fly them all over, they get a 1-bedroom apartment for 1 week. That's all they get from the madam, right? And this is all part of their $5,000, $8,000, and $10,000 package. That plane lands at, say, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. At 7 o'clock that same night, these girls are out in the street. They go out in the street at 7 o'clock, and they're not allowed to come back till 4 a.m. As soon as they come back, they have to start paying off that visa. So if they only sleep with 1 guy, it's $25. If they sleep with 2, it's $50. If they sleep with 3, it's $75. They, on average, need to sleep with at least 1, if not 2 guys a day just to break even, to keep up with paying that passport off. Because they got to pay that passport off, that $5,000 if they did the 1 month. Now, most of these girls think $5,000 to them, that's like Elon Musk money. So like, we'll get the $5,000 package, not realizing how quickly they're going to have to renew that, right? And how quickly time goes by when you're an escort partying out in the streets. So next thing they know, they're almost trapped in this cycle where they're never paying off enough to the madam, and then they're another $1,000 each month to add. So think about that. You're trying to make $1,000 a month at having sex with somebody at $25. Just imagine, do the math on how many people you have to sleep with. I think it's 25 people a month just to pay off the passport, okay? So that's almost 1 person a day just to basically break dead even. So the madams, and then so what the girls do is every night they come home, the madams are taking their money, and they give them $5 to get a Uber, get something to eat, and get back out on the street. And every night these girls are out there, okay? And this is how the game works. So when I was out there, I mean, there is hundreds, if not thousands of girls all over the place. Some are 18. I would assume actually all of them are 18 because in Malaysia, I think you actually have to be 20 to be on the corner. And in Thailand, I'm pretty sure you had to be 21 to be out there on the corner. I know the girls in the club, I'm pretty sure was 20 or 21. I don't think it was 18. I think it was over than that. So the government is really strict about not letting minors out there. But where I was going with that is, I could have easily went into the villages of Tanzania and bought a child. There is people out there, there's mothers out there. Let's just say your husband's the breadwinner, right? And it's not uncommon for these people to have 8 to 12 children, right? So you have 10 kids, husband's a breadwinner, he's just a taxi driver, happens to have a few too many drinks, which is one of the girl's stories. Her dad was a taxi driver, went out to work one night, had a couple drinks, got in a car accident, died, left the mother alone with 4 kids. Now imagine if they had 8 kids or 10 kids and they just had a brand new newborn. Woman shows up and she says, hey, we're willing to buy your child from you. We can give them an amazing life. We got this amazing celebrity, their family, they're celebrities in America. They want to adopt your child. You just got to sign over all rights and we're willing to pay you $10,000 for your child if you're interested. So a lot of these mothers look at their other 9 children and go, I got 9 mouths to feed. That $10,000 can probably feed all of my children, our entire family, until all of them turn 18. So am I willing to give up one of my child who I think is going to have an exponentially better life and actually have a shot at living, the American dream? A lot of them are. So where I'm going with this is Andrew Tate's going to go deep in this video about how we need to investigate everybody, because Epstein Island didn't put an end to this torture and abuse and trafficking. There is more islands, there are more billionaires, and there are more evil, sick scumbags just like Epstein that are willing to do the exact same thing that Epstein did. And there's obviously, you can't tell me that all of these billionaires all have this same sick fetish and they were willing to communicate about it. Bill Maher said it perfectly. He goes, these people were just communicating out in the open in their email. He's like, when I used to buy weed back in the day, we'd at least have to use code words. Like, I'll take 2 shirts. Granted, they were using code words. That was the pizza. That was the ice cream. That was the, we want, what it was, the one from Justin Bieber. We want vegetables and cream cheese. And Justin Bieber puts out a thing the title is Yummy. The word yummy is used multiple times in the Epstein files, and they're talking about vegetables and cream cheese. They're also talking about pizza and a lot of other things that are just so happen to be in this table. And if you look in the background, there's some really younger underage boys that are playing the instruments behind Justin Bieber. It's really bizarre. There is another Epstein Island. There are more billionaires out there. They are hunting victims. They are raping women and children. And if I, Ryan Matta, with 0 experience in less than 4 years, could literally replicate, I could be recruiting girls from 3 or 4 different countries, and I could build out Epstein's entire blackmail network and syndicate with a list of, you could show up to my mansion, I could have 4 girls that were 14, 3 girls that were 12, 10 girls that are 16, easily, without even trying. And then you find somebody like Brunel, who has the ability to go into these governments and actually get visas for these women. That's the hardest part, is moving the women. But when you got a private jet and you have the ability to fly into international airports and nobody's actually tracking who came on and off that plane, or you could fit one of these children in a suitcase as you roll it off the plane so nobody knows that it's even there. You get in the car, put it in the car, girl pops out of the suitcase, and all of a sudden you just traffic an 8-year-old, right? These billionaires, they have the ability to do things that we don't do, right? So when you have the protection of the State Department, the CIA, our intelligence agencies, our FBI, and you want to traffic or replicate or rebuild Epstein's network, it's already done. It's already up there. It's already up and running. There's multiple of them out there. What celebrity is it? I don't know. A lot of times they disguise it behind things like Diddy, right? They make these larger than life celebrities, and these celebrities throw these crazy parties, and everybody thinks it's a celebrity, it's a cool thing. I'm in the cool people club, right? We're allowed to do this. We're billionaires. We're untouchable. We have the world at our fingertips. You see people like Jay-Z and P. Diddy, right? They think they're untouchable because they're in bed with our intelligence agencies, guys. Wake up. So hopefully you guys are picking up what I'm laying down. It's a long rant. I'm sorry. I apologize about it. If you guys aren't following me, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. We're just like you 4 years ago, clueless to all this, and now I am absolutely 100% convinced that our government's ran by an elite network of pedophiles, and it wouldn't be hard to replicate Epstein's island. Every single person on that island should be investigated, and I say that to say this. We out. Peace.
Here's the second most important email from the Epstein files. Subject line, prepare for pandemics. written on March 19th, 2015. In that email it says, let's discuss next steps. For example, how to involve the World Health Organization. I hope we can pull this off. Then in 2019 came Event 201, a simulation of a global pandemic to see how each organization should react, like how to counter the anti-vaxxers and the spread of misinformation. That was sponsored by Bill Gates, by the way. And in early 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic happened, one of the biggest scams in modern history. Now, we know that Bill Gates and Epstein were close because in another email, Gates is asking Epstein to give him antibiotics to slip to his then-wife Melinda because he may have given her STDs that he caught on Epstein Island.
Apparently, Jeffrey wrote an email to himself.
What? And then they gave that guy the mandate to push vaccines on all of us. And to add insult to injury, we the people have to watch his ass walk freely and lecture us on climate change at the World Economic Forum. Now, this is not a moment for us to tell the people who didn't believe us, I told you so. It's a moment for all of us to come together and push back against these evil, deceptive, miserable rats.
I just retired from a local hospital here.
The truth will set you free. That's it. And the truth is being exposed, so whether you come out or not, we got our eyes on you. Y'all have a wonderful day, wonderful week. Stay tuned for the next one.